Hello. This week's Parsha is Parsha Yitro, and we have early on Yitro, Moshe's father-in-law, giving Moshe some advice about how to avoid burnout by appointing various levels of authority to judge the people. And there's a line that Yisro says to him. He recommends about the judges. He says in chapter 18, verse 22 in Exodus, or Shemos, um, uh, Perek Chai, verse Kaf, Pasuk Kaf Vav, is uh, Vishaftu et ha'am v'kol eitz. Let them judge the people at all times. V'haya kol hadavar hagadol, and all the big things, every major problem rather, yaviu elecha, they will bring to you. And every minor problem, v'kol davar hakaton, yishpotu chem. Now, in this case, Yitros is referring to what the judges can't handle, they'll bring to him, and what they can, they're going to deal with themselves. There's also, I think, something to gain from this for us about, and I want to hone in on the minor problem, the davar katon, the small thing, because at least in my life, I think it's the small things I'm mostly called for in my service to Hashem. Now, there have been big moments, of crisis where I'm called, I think, to more important, like to great things. But thank God those have been few and far between, and may they always be so. And may for us, may we not have these things happen. But the day to day, that seems to be what I'm called to, seems on a much smaller scale. And I find that it's in that smaller scale, which I would say is the area of my responsibility, I often find myself coming up with the strongest rationalizations for not doing what is, first of all, in my power to do, and also what I feel I'm called to do. And because often they seem minor, and in the grand scheme of things they are, but they're also, that doesn't mean that they shouldn't be done with love and maybe even joy, or at least done. I have a great story. Someone I know, he was running to shul early in the morning. He was throwing out the garbage, and he went downstairs. He went to throw out his garbage, and he lives with multiple people in like a multiple living space, and he noticed that the garbage was not, someone didn't put their recycling in a bag, and it was just in paper at the bottom of the garbage. He was already late to shul, and so he put his garbage in, and he thought, this is not my problem. And on one level, it's not his problem, right? But what he did was great. He came back from shul, and he had a lot to do today. It's like, who doesn't have a lot to do? And he put that garbage, opened up his bag, and put the garbage in his bag without telling the neighbor. Moreover, he discovered in the other recycling that it wasn't being put in the correct bags, but he wasn't sure about that. So he took time out of his day, because like he could walk or whatever. He had time in between. Called 311 to figure out, like, could it possibly be a different bag? And anyway, and then they took steps to alert the neighbor or whatever, so it wouldn't, or his other tenant or whatever the person living, because, and this isn't a pro recycling meant as a pro recycling thing, but that's fine. It is. Recycling is good. Reduce, reuse, reduce, reuse. I think but I just wanted to point out how in that moment that person let me know I know firsthand from that person that, like, there was a strong sense of like, oh, it's just garbage. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Like, but it's in that space that action could be taken. And so may we be aware that of when of that voice in us, or maybe, or in you, or check to see if it comes up of that voice of it's only blocking the car a little bit, or it's just whatever, like like it's only a small thing, whatever, like I'll um I'll call him back another time, or I'll I can do this thing, and it doesn't, not so important, like that kind of voice. And certainly we have things that often come up that are more important, and we should deal with those first. But when we know we have the time, and we know when it's our duty, may God give us the strength to do every gadol davar, every big thing, and every katan davar. Have a good one.